The coworker who agrees with you the most is often the one who will betray you the fastest. Not the loud one, not your obvious rival. The one who nods along in every private conversation and disappears the second it actually costs them something. That sounds harsh. It's not an accusation, it's a pattern, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to test for it before it costs you a promotion, a project, or your reputation in a room you weren't even in. Let's name what we're talking about. We're going to call it the weather vane. A weather vane doesn't have an opinion about which way the wind blows, it just turns. Whichever way the wind is blowing, this second, that's the direction it's pointing, not the direction it pointed a minute ago, not the direction it agreed with you on 20 minutes earlier. Here's what that actually looks like in practice. Take Priya. She spent 20 minutes before a big meeting walking her idea past a coworker named Derek. I love this, he told her, genuinely warm, genuinely enthusiastic. 20 minutes later, in front of the director, the second the room hesitated. Derek hesitated right along with it. I did have some concerns actually. That's a weather vane. In private, he agrees with you because agreeing with you costs him nothing. In the room, he agrees with whoever holds the power in that room because that's the win that actually matters to his career. Here's the part that stings the most. Derek isn't lying to you in private. He genuinely might think your idea is good. That's what makes the weather vane so much more dangerous than an obvious liar. You're not dealing with someone who's fake from the start. You're dealing with someone who's real, right up until it costs him something. So why does he do this? Not because he's evil, because somewhere, a long time ago, being visibly wrong in front of the wrong person cost him something. A promotion, a project, a moment of public embarrassment he never wants to repeat. And his brain learned a rule: private opinions are safe. Public positions are risky. Keep the two separate always. That rule protects Derek. It does absolutely nothing for you. And here's what makes it work on you specifically. You're wired to trust private agreement more than public agreement, not less. Think about it. When someone tells you something one-on-one, it feels more honest, more real, like you're getting their actual opinion instead of a performance for the room. So when Derek agrees with you in private, your brain files it as a truer version of him. The room version, the hedge, the concerns, that gets filed as a performance. It's backwards. For a weather vane, the private conversation is the performance. It's low stakes, it's easy, it costs nothing. The room is where the real him shows up because the room is where the wind actually blows. Think about how good that private version feels too. No pushback, no awkward pause, just instant validation. That feeling is exactly why you stop questioning it. Nobody wants to interrogate the one moment in their day that felt easy. Here's why you don't see this coming. It's not one big betrayal. It's never one big betrayal. It's small enough every single time that Derek can explain it away in one sentence. I mean, I was just playing devil's advocate. I didn't want to put you on the spot. I still think it has potential. I just had questions. Any one of those sounds completely reasonable. It's only when you stack 5 of them over 5 different meetings that the pattern becomes obvious. And it doesn't only show up in meetings, it shows up in the group chat where he reacts with a thumbs up to your message, then says nothing when someone else pushes back on it in the thread. It shows up when your manager asks the team for feedback on your promotion case. And Derek, who told you privately he'd absolutely vouch for you, writes something carefully neutral instead. Nothing negative, nothing helpful either, just safe. Vague enough that nobody could ever quote it back to him later. And by then, you've stopped bringing backup. You've stopped double checking who's actually going to speak up for you in the room because Derek already told you, privately, that he's on your side. You believe the private conversation was the real one, and the public meeting was just a formality. It's the opposite. The private conversation was never the commitment. The room is the only place commitment actually gets tested, and the weather vane knows that better than you do. Ask yourself this right now. Is there someone in your work life who agrees with you every time you talk one-on-one, but you can't actually remember the last time they backed you up in front of other people? Take a second. Actually think of the name, not just the type of person. This works a lot better once it's specific. If a name just came to mind, you already know what this video is about. So what do you actually do about it? One move, it doesn't require confrontation and it doesn't require calling anyone out. We're calling it the room test. Here's how it works. The next time someone agrees with you in private, before the meeting where it'll actually matter, you say one sentence back to them. Something like, "Great, can you share that in the room too? It'll carry more weight coming from both of us." That's it, that's the whole move. Watch what happens. If they're genuine, they'll say yes without hesitation, because agreeing in the room costs them nothing extra if they actually meant it. But if they're a weather vane, you'll hear the hesitation immediately. A vague, "let's see how it goes." A sudden interest in not wanting to gang up. A change of subject. Maybe even a version of the exact concern they never mentioned to you 5 minutes earlier. The one that appears the moment there's an audience. You just found out the truth of their agreement before the meeting even started. Not after you got blindsided in front of everyone. One thing to be careful of here. The room test isn't about catching everyone in a trap. Most people hesitate sometimes for perfectly good reasons. Timing, politics that have nothing to do with you, a boss who punishes anyone who speaks up about anything. One hesitation isn't proof of a weather vane. What you're watching for is the pattern, private warmth, public silence every single time with no exceptions. That's not caution, that's a strategy. If someone backs you up even once under real pressure, that tells you more than 10 private compliments ever could. And here's the quieter benefit. Once you start asking this consistently of everyone, the genuine allies start to stand out fast. You stop being surprised in meetings because you already know, walking in, exactly who's actually going to be in the room with you and who's just going to be in the room. Remember Priya from earlier? She started doing this 2 weeks after that meeting with Derek. Next time he told her privately how much he loved her proposal, she asked him to say so in the room. He didn't. But she wasn't surprised this time. And she wasn't unprotected either. She'd already lined up someone else to back her instead. Someone who'd said yes to the room test without blinking a week earlier. That's the difference. Not that Derek changed, that Priya stopped needing him to. The uncomfortable truth here isn't that Derek is unusually cruel, it's that most workplaces quietly reward exactly this behavior. Think about how most companies actually track performance. Reviews, promotion cases, 360 feedback, all of it captures what got said in the room, in writing, on record. Nobody's performance review has a section for what they told a coworker in private. That conversation leaves no trail. It can't be cited, can't be quoted, can't be brought up later, which means Derek can be wrong in the room 100 times as long as the room is the only place anyone's keeping score. Nobody ever gets fired for being agreeable in private and cautious in public. That's not a bug in the system. For Derek, it's a survival strategy that's worked his entire career because the system was never built to notice the gap between the two versions of him, which means it's not going anywhere until the people around him stop mistaking private words for public commitment. That's not on you to fix about Derek. It's just on you to stop being surprised by him. Now you know the difference. If this one hits close to home, the last video covered something just as easy to miss. The real reason your company keeps you guessing your own salary range and the one sentence that changes that conversation. Links right there. And next time, we're covering exactly how to say no to extra work without ever looking like you don't care. If you want to keep seeing how these patterns actually work, subscribe. There's more of this every week.